Okay, I really can't tell you why sometimes my camera uploads videos instantly and other times they take 2 days to upload a video that's probably no longer than 5 minutes. But anyway, I was thinking about the foolishness of my blood relations, because they tend to be, I don't know, they make up stupid rules and they renege on them and then they come back and they make no sense, okay? Like, I mentioned earlier in one of my videos about how, that my mom said, because my mother knew I was really interested in religion, and at the time I was studying with Jehovah's Witnesses, and she said, well, by the time you're 17, that was her rule of the house, you can decide what religion you want to be, okay? At 17, we were able to decide that, okay? So I did not become a formal Jehovah's Witness, meaning I was not baptized into the religion. I wasn't, actually, I just kind of studied with them and went to their meetings and stuff like that. But I didn't actually want to formalize anything because of some conflicting information that I had. But my point is that, this is what irritates me so much. That this is something that I understood that was a rule within our family, like an accepted common rule in our family. And then the next thing you know, in my 40s, or probably, somewhere in my 40s, or maybe my 30s, because I think this religious targeting has been going on since organized sports, I'm assuming, maybe. But anyway, now they're getting bitchy about, religion when that was supposed to be my choice by the time I was 17. I'm not supposed to answer to anybody. I could be a Buddhist, according to what my mom said, at that time. So what is the deal? And I think maybe my family could have been dealing with a lot of pressure from Esther Gooding, maybe, because she probably was either cause stalking them, who knows. But whatever the case is, it's like, that stuff is just ridiculous. It really is. This is a very strange, his family, Piggy's family is very strange, and I don't want anything to do with them. So yeah, I'm glad to say that I consider myself a Gordon. I do. I'm Gordon, not the Gordon like Gordons, like I'm related to the Gordons, like I want to adapt to their bullshit because I think they're pretty full of shit myself. I figure if you're that weak-minded to be a part of something like that, then I really don't want anything to do with you, because. It's funny how, like, genetics works. Like, I think my dad was the kind of person, he didn't go in for that kind of stuff. He used his logic and reason. And, I always expected my brothers and sisters to be the same way, but that's not always the case. But then again, it also has to do with, forceful tactics that, this cult places on people. It's like, they do a lot of evil things to people to try to make you be a certain way. And the funny part is that, I'm sitting here quoting scripture and these people are doing something completely opposite. That's amazing. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to deal with, I saw Piggy just a few minutes ago. I saw him in the hallway, and I just said, I kind of mumbled good morning, but I'm not really wanting to deal with him too much. I just don't. He needs to accept the fact that I'm not wanting to be around him. I don't even really spend time with him. I come home, I eat something, and then I've been just resting a lot, getting as much bed rest as I can. I hang out in my room a lot. I'm trying to get myself rested. And I don't want to deal with people who I perceive to be perps. He's a perp as far as I'm concerned. He's a perp because if he snitched on me to his mom about the religious thing, because he's always talking about how he doesn't believe in that Esther's group. He doesn't believe in it. But I noticed the funny thing about what do you call it? A lot of the perps who these mind control people or these cult people, oftentimes I've even seen some of the atheist groups. No, I'm not an atheist, but I've seen atheist groups pose to be atheist groups, and they're really not atheist groups. They're like more of this cult group that want to attract people who may be interested in atheism. And then when you get to the group, they're basically snitching on you. And this is crazy because it's like, you don't need to resort to these tactics. You really don't. And I understand, that Christianity, I don't even like calling it Christianity. I want to call it this warped stuff. This warped stuff, I don't have any respect for it, just based on what they do, because their actions show something completely different. But I understand that the majority of people can easily get sucked into this sort of thing, but they don't. They need to stop, and they need to understand that, Jesus never pressed those tactics on people, number one. And like I said, the laws of this country, we're allowed to have freedom of religion. And so what are these people really doing? They're just trying to pressure you into something that satisfies their selfish need, and they want to feel good about themselves. So if, they want to pressure you into doing something that pleases them, I'm not the kind of person who's going to accept something if it doesn't make sense. And it just doesn't make any sense. So I woke up this morning, made that video. I'm feeling a little bit better. Like, I'm not as groggy as I was before. But I know that when I get home, I'm gonna need more rest. There's a lot of fear that I'm dealing with because I'm hoping that all these perps have just left me alone. I would like to be able to just get on with my life, and that's where most of the fear is. Is like the fear is like who out there, what kind of psychopath is out there. And they're crazy. They're crazy. Esther Gooding's crazy. Her cult's crazy. Piggy's crazy. And I'm starting to see that, he's crazy. Just because he doesn't have a consistent, viewpoint, or he bounces back and forth. Like, I'm sure to his mom, he's supposed to be like, the ideal Christian boy, but yet, they have this weird relationship that is disgusting. And then when he gets here, he pretends to be something else, and he's basically a part of this snitch culture. It's very, very strange. But anyway, whatever the case is, it's just a lot, to it's a lot to come to the realization that you're in the smack dab in the middle of what I perceive to be a land of evil. Like, this place is evil. I mean, there's no doubt about it. These people are ignorant, they're evil, they're corrupt. They're morally bankrupt. They don't know right from wrong, and they try to spread their crap everywhere. I mean, that's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. And it's not that if he was a victim of child molestation or whatever, and he grew up with that, I understand that kind of warps their mind, but I think he's beyond the point of like where I should even be feeling sorry for him at this point. I don't care. I just don't care. It's too bad, but it's like, I something told me last night, it's like, you got to stop worrying about people. You just do. Stop making excuses for people. I mean, he's fucking 50 years old. He's well read. I mean, he needs to, I don't know. His conditioning may be strong or whatever, but it's not my problem. It just isn't, I'm glad to say that my last name is Gordon. I will never recognize myself as a Graham. I don't want anything to do with the Grahams, or the Wyatts, or the Goodings, or their stupid belief system. I don't consider myself to be their family at all. And then, of course, I'm not the Gordon family either. This woman is standing all on her own, and because I don't deal with foolishness, I just don't. So, anyway, but I was just thinking about, the inconsistencies that my family stated, like, oh, you can do this, and then, these things, like my mom's always saying, you can do whatever you want to do. You do what you want. You live for yourself. You do this is the kind of stuff she claims to have instilled inside of us, right? But then she turns around and supports my stupid sister's bullshit on Facebook, okay? It's like, a lot of families don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They just don't. They just love to talk, and they act like they're good parents, but they're not. It's kind of like those people who've got bumper stickers on talking about, what good their kids, bragging about their kids. And a lot of times I just think parents really don't give a shit about their kids. They're just sitting here trying to act like they do so they can be socially accepted. It's like, I can see through a lot of facades, and a lot of it is, just people trying to impress another person, or at least not trying to, avoid being judged or something. I think a lot of people really don't give two shits about their kids, and that's the damn truth. You know what I mean? So they're probably just people who've been pressured to have kids just for the sake of having them, and then when they have them, they feel pressure to act like they really give a crap when they really don't. They would rather, if they had the chance, they would probably rather wish that kid was never born. That's mean to say, but you could tell by the actions of a lot of people what they really feel about their kids. And those bumper stickers don't impress me, not one bit. You can look at a kid and tell if they're well cared for. You can tell if a kid, is really happy and content and stable and taken care of. And I think, I had a lot of material things, meaning like there was kids who had more than I had, but for a family that was like middle class and had 4 kids, I think I had a decent Christmas. I had, always had nice clothes to wear and stuff like that. I can't complain about those things. But, as far as like, the very fact that she would sit there and let my brother and sisters treat me that way, it just goes to show you that her parenting skills are just like below standard. It's just like, I'm just now starting to see that, wow. Yeah, too many things have just opened my eyes, I'm just like becoming, I've always been awake, but now I'm just like so awake that it's just almost like, jeez, it's crazy. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video. I'm going to curl my hair and head out the door. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.